I'd like to talk to you about aerobic oxygen. I have a mock-up of it here. Why do I have a mock-up? Because Health Canada took this off the market. And therein lies the story. Here we go. A couple of years ago, I'm strolling through a health food store, and I see this thing, aerobic oxygen. Sort of a confusing term, because aerobic, by definition, means with air, which means with oxygen. So all oxygen is aerobic. Well, I figured I'd better get some more info on this, so I call over the sales girl, who was dressed in sort of a white lab coat, advising people on health. I don't know, the week before she may be mopping floors in some fast food restaurant. But now she was giving health advice. So I said, what is this aerobic oxygen? Do you also carry the anaerobic variety? And she said, no, this is the only one that we have. I said, and what is this for? She says, it helps with all sorts of things. It can reduce your cellulite. It can reduce the risk of high blood pressure and cancer and heart disease. I said, well, how does it do that? And she goes on to say, well, oxygen is critical to life, which of course is true. We breathe it. The atmosphere contains oxygen, but the oxygen content of the atmosphere is decreasing because of pollution and because of the junk food that we eat. I didn't know what it had to do with the junk food, but of course the oxygen content of the atmosphere is not decreasing. It's 21% and been that for millennia. So she tells me, well, because of this pollution and lack of oxygen, we need to supplement. And I said, how do we do that? She says, well, you put a few drops of this aerobic oxygen in a glass of water and drink it. Then I said, but gee, I thought that we get our oxygen through the lungs, not through our digestive tract. This kind of puzzled her. And I thought, okay, it was time to stop tormenting this poor girl. And I left. And I started, of course, Googling to see what this was all about. And there are all kinds of claims, much like the ones that she told me about the benefits of this aerobic oxygen. Well, what is it? Well, recently we found out that it had a small amount of sodium chloride in it. Health Canada found that. It was not declared on the label. Sodium chloride in high enough doses can indeed cause kidney problems, which is the reason that Health Canada made them take it off the market. But also it does release small amounts of oxygen. Totally irrelevant. Oxygen is hardly soluble in water. I mean, there is always some oxygen dissolved in water, otherwise fish couldn't live, right? They extract it through their gills. But we do not need any oxygen from our digestive tract. Anyway, Health Canada made them take it off the market. I'm not sure that there was any real danger, except for the nonsensical promotion that this is something that we need. So aerobic oxygen is gone because of the sodium chloride content. But you know what? There are many other products like that still on the market, like this one, this liquid oxygen. What's in here? Well, I can tell you, it is not liquid oxygen. Oxygen is a gas. It can be cooled down to a liquid. You have to go down to about minus 183 degrees. But anyway, this thing is advertised, even in the magazine on Air Canada, that you put a few drops in water, relieve fatigue, relieve jet lag, cures your hangover, all kinds of stuff like that. Well, of course, I'm very suspicious of that because I'm not sure what it contains. They don't have anything on the label. It may have a tiny bit of hydrogen peroxide, or maybe they just pass an electric current through water. That will generate a little bit of hydrogen, a little bit of oxygen. Of course, it's totally inconsequential because the oxygen is not soluble enough in water to do anything. So if these kind of things do anything for you, it all comes from the power of the mind, because we do not need oxygen through our digestive tract. And even if we did, there is not enough that can dissolve in water to have any kind of an effect. How can I tell you this with confidence? Well, because I'm a chemist. We know these things. Trust me. The amount of oxygen that can dissolve in water is trivial, unless you're a fish, in which case it's important. But you know what? Water. I've just dosed myself with a little bit of oxygen. Not going to get into my bloodstream, not going to do anything for me. But now, I hope I've done something for you to make you realize that aerobic oxygen and liquid oxygen, nothing more than placebos. But, of course, placebos can work. So, enjoy.